half over, and the AL Central is still a 5-team race. Just 6 games separate the top from the bottom, making the Central the tightest race in the AL. This weekend, the Twins and Sox look to make a move in the division and gain some momentum heading into the season's second half. He is 30 years old. He's been a professional baseball player for 11 years now, and tonight he gets his chance, and wouldn't you know it, we will see his debut after a 2-hour and 5-minute rain delay.
We talked about it about 2.5 hours ago. About it doesn't matter to him. He's waited a long time for this.
He has endured through 10 years, 10 full years in the minor leagues, 4 different organizations, a return engagement with the Minnesota Twins. He was the guy the Twins traded to Cleveland years ago for Carl Pavano, and now he's on a big league mound for the first time.
The butterflies, he has definitely paid his dues to have the opportunity to start here tonight, and that will be against the Chicago White Sox.
Robin Ventura and the Twins opened their season together in Chicago back in late March, early April. Haven't seen the White Sox since, and they, like the Twins, have kind of had a streaky season going here. Still a couple games below the 500 mark. The Menards batting order for the White Sox. Adam Eaton leading things off. Gordon Beckham hitting second. Their hottest hitter has been Connor Gillespie, Jose Abreu, Adam Dunn. Their best player all year long has probably been Alexei Ramirez, not counting Jose Abreu perhaps. Diane Viciedo, Alejandro De Aza, and Tyler Flowers.
Well, Pino's numbers in the minor leagues. Now this is Rochester AAA. Outstanding. 9-1 with an ERA under 2. Now he made 7 starts, 14 appearances overall. 7 home runs allowed. A strikeout pitcher throughout his career. Now, a career in the minor leagues, almost 1,100 innings. He's averaged 2.2 walks and 8.1 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Northland 4 defense for the Twins. Across the outfield, Willingham, Fold, and Parmalee. Across the infield, Escobar, Santana, Dozier, Mauer, Kurt Suzuki behind the plate. He's done such a great job with veterans and inexperienced pitchers alike. It was a natural fit to have Suzuki catch Pino here tonight.
Yeah, you know what, Pino, again, he was invited to spring training as a non-roster player, so he walked into a clubhouse here at Target Field and knew a lot of the players, so that also helps. Good start. A fastball, not overpowering fastball, as Ron Gardenhire kind of gave a scouting report to us. You know, pretty good curveball. He mixed in a slider and a changeup.
Fans applauding not just Pino's first pitch, a strike, but the fact that there was a first pitch tonight. A lot of fans enduring the rain delay, and now it quickly goes to 0-2.
That's a breaking ball right there, kind of a little hanger, but Eaton wants to look at, you know, what he has. He now falls behind 0-2.
The ball flip foul. Good to have you back, partner. We missed you.
Good to be back. Good to be back. Got a chance to play a lot of golf, but I have missed being here. Let's take a look at the Mall of America scouting report on Pino. A fastball, curveball, changeup, slider, fastball, like Gardy said, not overpowering, but by his control numbers, he's able to hit his spots, and that's what Suzuki will try to work with him. Good fastball inside, and if you're going to go in, you want to miss in, so a good pitch right there by the 30-year-old.
And he humped up to 91 miles per hour with that fastball, trying to clip the corner. 1-2. And a strikeout to start his major league career.
Off-speed pitch right there at 80 miles an hour. Pulled the string. And Pino picking up his first career major league strikeout. Eaton swinging through it.
1 down. And that'll bring up Gordon Beckham. Pino started in the Twins organization, as we mentioned, traded to Cleveland, spent some time in the Blue Jay organization, the Reds organization, back with the Twins, and he simply put dominated AAA hitting at Rochester. There were a number of other candidates worthy of a call-up, but this guy, numbers-wise, first earned the promotion. 1-1.
Long road to the big leagues. Look at the stops right there. Signed out of Venezuela back in 2004, then traded over in the Carl Pavano deal. And then spent some time in the Blue Jays, Reds, like you mentioned, and then back on December 12th, re-signed with the Twins.
Half swing. Did he go? Nope. First base umpire Mark Wegner says he checked. 2-1. And he did. Foul back. 92 games left for the Twins this year. 16 of them will be against the Chicago White Sox. Twins have seen a lot of the Indians and the Tigers, and even more against the Kansas City Royals. But
yeah, Twins lost 2 of 3 in that opening start this year in Chicago.
He's making this look easy. 2 strikeouts. 2 gone in his first major league inning.
You can almost tell already that Pino is a add and subtract type pitcher, and he's pitching right now, taking a little off, then adding a little more.
Connor Gillespie's been really good for the White Sox over the last 3-4 weeks. Not much for power, but he's gotten on base a lot, and he's really racked up the hits. And he takes strike 1.
Gillespie in his second season with the White Sox came over from the Giants, getting an opportunity to play, and like I said, not much power, no home runs on the year.
1-1. Close pitch taken a little low. His minor league numbers. That's all we have to go by, of course. Hot ground ball. Dozier goes into the slide and comes up firing. Good first inning for Johan Pino.
That Dozier has to get dirty early. Good first inning.
Brian Dozier, Danny Santana, and the Twins hoping to score the first runs of the game. With this Menards batting order, it's Santana, followed by Dozier and Mauer, Willingham, Morales, Suzuki, Parmalee, Escobar, and Fold.
That'll be left-handed pitcher Jose Quintana on the mound here this evening for the Chicago White Sox. Quintana making his second start against the Twins this year, his 15th overall. Had a no decision back in Chicago back in early April. He pitched against Phil Hughes. Both starters didn't pitch too well. Twins ended up winning that ball game 10-9. The only game the Twins won in that 3-game series.
And it'll be Danny Santana to start the first inning for the Twins.
Ended up being a beautiful evening here at Target Field.
Very nice. And a belt-high fastball, strike 1.
You know, Dick, I just can't believe the fans that stayed here and, you know, just kind of enjoyed the music as the rain fell, but the ground crew again did a great job of getting this field ready.
Strike two. There was not an abundance of optimism that we were going to play tonight from the time it started raining about 5 o'clock through the scheduled start time 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And Santana is aware that the book on him is to get 2 strikes on him and then try to bury a breaking ball down and into him.
Well, Santana, a switch hitter, hitting .435 as a right-handed hitter. Of course, first time around, he has not faced Quintana before that has a fastball, good hard slider, and a changeup.
Struck him out, 1 down.
His slider almost like a curveball. And a lot of strikeouts here already in the first 4 outs. 3 of them.
Northland Ford defense for the White Sox, and they, like the Twins, have had some corner outfield issues. De Aza and Viciedo out there tonight. Eaton can cover a lot of ground in center. Gillespie, Ramirez, left side of the infield. Beckham, Abreu on the right side. And Tyler Flowers behind the plate.
I think one thing we have to keep an eye on is the footing of the outfielders. Even though this field drains well, it's been really saturated out there.
Strike one. About 45 minutes before game time, both managers, the crew chief Mark Wegner and the Twins front office staff, went out onto the field to try to determine its playability. 1-1. And the group of men went out beyond the area in short left where the tarp always gets dumped and went out to the warning track in left center field. Whatever issue there was on the field appeared to be the area out by the bullpens over the left shoulder of De Aza. 2-1 to Brian Dozier. Popped up near the Chicago dugout and out of play.
That ball got in on Dozier a little bit. Quintana's only allowed 4 home runs this year. This being his 15th start. He has not allowed a home run over his last 9 starts. Dozier leading the Twins with 15 home runs. So he's done a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark.
Had a rough first inning in his last start. The Royals, who were red hot, of course, at the time, scored 5 first inning runs against Quintana, and he gave up another one in the second, and then finished his day with 4 scoreless innings.
Actually, over his last 3 starts for Jose Quintana, 0-3 with an ERA at 5.51, so it has been a little bit of a struggle for him.
Called back.
You know, Dick, I remember, when we faced him in April last year, he won 9 ball games and 33 starts. Didn't get a lot of run support. Put up some pretty good numbers last year as far as earned run average. 3.51 last year in 33 starts, worked 200 innings exactly, and won 9 and lost 7.
3-2 now to Dozier with Mauer on deck. Quintana usually pretty good with control, doesn't walk too many guys. And he walked Dozier, so a strikeout, now a walk, and a man aboard for Joe Mauer. We've had an awful lot of rain, over 4 inches since the Twins landed here last night. And clearing skies, we don't expect weather to be an issue at least until Sunday, maybe not at all for the balance of this series.
This is one guy the Twins want to see get some more hits. Joe Mauer really struggling here early in the season. Everybody's still waiting for him to really turn it around and be the Joe Mauer that everybody expected to have another season of 300 plus average wise.
Swing and a miss. I think the impression a lot of fans have is the impression that I had, that he really had an awful road trip, and it wasn't good, but his batting average only went down 10 points. I think the sense people got, having watched the series in Toronto and Detroit and then in Boston, that his batting average took a 30-point hit. It wasn't good going into the road trip, and it was worse coming out of it.
He's had such a great career, Joe Mauer. 3 batting titles in his career in his 11th season, the first 10 all-star seasons, but he's been struggling. Now it's up to him to find it and dig a little bit deeper and find that swing that won those 3 batting titles. And also driving in some runs. Only 2 RBIs so far here in the month of June for Joe Mauer. Only 16 total.
Dozier checked at first.
Big part of the Twins offense. Joe Mauer.
3 successful steals against Quintana in 5 tries. Inside 2-1.
Yeah, he utilizes that slide step a lot like John Danks. Also Mark Burley, who pitched for the White Sox. Quintana doesn't take a lot of time between pitches in it either. He got pretty good as far as getting ready to throw that ball toward home plate. Not a lot of time. Don Cooper, the pitching coach.
Ramirez will start at double play. And the Twins send just 3 men to the plate in the first.
Field, Johan Pino takes his mound right now, pitching his 2nd inning of Major League Baseball work at age 30. I had a conversation with Rick Anderson about his experience. He toiled in the minors, and at age 28, finally in 1986, made his debut for the New York Mets. He said he didn't sleep a wink the night before. They were taking on Mike Schmidt and the Philadelphia Phillies. He was scared to death, nervous all day, took the mound. I said, well, how did it go, Rick? He said, you know what? Pretty well. 7 innings, only 1 run against. Stuck around guys throughout that season. Of course, that was a special season. 1986, the Mets would go on to win the World Series. Certainly the pitching coach can relate to what this young man is going through here tonight.
It's hard to explain sometimes. Great job by explaining that. What individual goes through in his major league debut as a pitcher, as a hitter. So many things running through your mind. The adrenaline is unbelievable.
Well, you just started drawing paychecks, and boom, you were in the big league. So you didn't have to wait very long at all. This guy had to wait over 10 years, 2-1.
And that's why I said he paid his dues. And he's worked hard. And, you know, you look at a young man like this, and he's 30 years old, but everybody in baseball in the minor leagues, sometimes you're stuck down there 4, 5, 6, 10 years, but you get a chance to maybe fulfill a dream.
And now 3-1. Facing Jose Abreu, who has taken the American League by storm. He and Adam Dunn have provided a pretty potent right-left punch in the middle of this Chicago lineup. And Abreu.
You can see by the swing right there by Abreu, he does not get cheated. 20 home runs in his rookie season for the White Sox.
Just 15 walks, and 4 of those intentional. So he's up there to swing the bat. And occasionally, as he just did, might expand the strike zone. Foul back.
Abreu, 27 years old, defecting from Cuba in October of last year, then signing a 6-year deal with the Chicago White Sox.
It was a tremendous leap of faith by the White Sox, and so far they've been very handsomely rewarded. Struck him out high and tight with an 89-mile-per-hour fastball. 3 strikeouts, 4 up, 4 down.
Pitching is about location, 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 and that ball just over the swing of Abreu. So 4 outs so far for Pino, 3 of them on strikeouts.
Here is Adam Dunn. Slow breaking ball over for a strike. 202 at bats, 77 strikeouts. It's when he doesn't strike out that he's still a very dangerous hitter.
Tremendous power off of this 6'6", 285 pounder.
Higher in the air than out in the field, and with the shift, Dozier actually comes in to catch the pop up, out number 2.
He could have ate a sandwich by the time that ball came down.
Tonight's Cold Hard Fact is brought to you by Frostbrewed Coors Light. Twins' oldest starting pitcher to make his major league debut, and Pino enters that list at the very top of the list. Remember Andrew Albers and what he did in his first 2 big league starts last year. Pino would take that.
Yeah, Les Straker, a big part of our '87 team.
Here's Alexei Ramirez, who's having a wonderful year for the White Sox. And Pino hits the outside corner. Hitting for average, some power, 36 runs batted in, second on the team to Abreu.
And he's always hit very well against the Twins. Good fastball there, good location. Ramirez, a .328 career hitter against the Twins pitching staff. In his 7th season with the White Sox.
Blocked by Suzuki. White Sox with a much better team batting average than the Twins at .257. More power than the Twins. 1-2. 2-2. White Sox came into the game in 72 games with 1,000 total bases. The Twins with 893 in 2 fewer games. A lot of home run power. Down the line and a fair ball into the corner. Ramirez continues to get base hits. And it's a 2-out double here in the second inning.
Again, you know, a .328 career hitter. He was 5 for 11 in that 3-game series back in late March and early April against the Twins, and continues to punish Twins pitching. Ball down, he just reaches out with those long arms and hits it over the head of Escobar at third base down that line. 10th double for Ramirez, but it's a 2-out double.
And Viciedo will hit next. Over the inside corner, strike 1.
We saw Abreu this inning from Cuba. We see Ramirez, who just hit the double from Cuba. Viciedo from Cuba, signed by the White Sox in 2008 in his 5th season.
Popped up. Dozier out in the outfield grass. Ends the inning. Another scoreless inning for Johan Pino. and can afford a few smiles after a couple of scoreless innings in his major league debut.
So far, so good.
Time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag NorthFanPhoto. A chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Josh Willingham, Kendrys Morales, and Kurt Suzuki in the Twins' second. It's not that hot. It might be muggy. But Quintana, even in the first inning, looked like his jersey is discolored, like he is perspired all the way through his uniform.
Yeah, a little humid down on that field. That's usually what happens, though, Dick, is, I pitched in Texas, and that first couple, 2-3 innings, it just kind of drains you. And if you can get through the first couple innings in the high humidity, you see the jersey right there soaking already. Then you kind of find that second wind.
1-1.
That might have been all the Coors Light I was also trying to get out of my system.
I'm going to say, I'd heard a lot about your wind over the years, but not so much your second wind.
Good to be back.
2-1 and a called strike. 2-2.
Willingham has very good numbers against Quintana. 8 hits in 15 at bats and a couple home runs against him. That's what the Twins need to start doing, is hitting some home runs, getting some runs on the board.
There it goes.
That's a good call. How'd you like that call? I'm back.
Into the third deck, I believe.
That's a no-doubter. Home run number 6 on the year for Willingham. And the first home run that Quintana has given up in 10 starts. So his third career home run against Quintana puts the Twins up 1-0. This is a blast. Wow. Great swing right there by Willingham. Fully extended. And the ball went a long way. You're going to give him up. Give him up like that. Wow.
And now here is Kendrys Morales. Fouling it away. Twins have a 5-game losing streak, and you're going to look at the powerful swing and the loft that Willingham was able to put on that ball. Twins have a 5-game losing streak, and over the 5 games, I think they led for about a half an hour. So figure out, 16, 17 hours of baseball, and the Twins had a lead for maybe a half an hour in the entire losing streak, and now an early lead. Morales tried to follow Willingham's home run with one of his own.
Well, the pitching has been outstanding. It's just the offense has not scored a lot of runs. Over the last 4 ball games, the Twins offense has scored a total of 5 runs. Well, you're not going to win a lot of ball games, but the staff has been outstanding.
1-2.
Staff.
And now 2-2. Morales was hitless at Fenway Park. Mauer, Willingham, and Morales really struggled in the Boston series. Twins found themselves scoring just 2 runs over the 3 games. And called third strike, 1 away.
Quintana picking up his 2nd strikeout.
Owning Twins season tickets provides a guaranteed seat and a whole lot more. Season ticket holders receive a variety of experiences, benefits, and exclusive access, including All-Star Game ticket purchase priority. The best way to enjoy the All-Star summer is to join the Twins at Season Ticket Family, and you can call 833-TWINS and get more info. Here's Kurt Suzuki. Fouled away, a strike. I want to pass along happy 60th wedding anniversary to Maynard and Helen Larson. They've had many challenges in their 60 years of marriage. The biggest, obviously, the fact that I joined the family back in 1991. My in-laws are celebrating their 60th anniversary. So happy anniversary.
Yes.
2 strikes.
Years so you and Heidi been married now. You put them through all that punishment.
I know. 2 strikes to Suzuki. And the ball, 1-2.
.305 batting average for Suzuki, the best amongst American League catchers.
And Suzuki protects the plate.
That's what he does so well. Doesn't strike out much.
You know what? I vowed on a road trip, I don't know if you saw it or not, I'm not going to mention that ever again, that he doesn't strike out much, because every time I do, he strikes out.
Well, I'll mention it.
Okay.
He struck out only 18 times in 197 at-bats, and he's drawn 18 walks. Change up right here. This is what Flowers put down.
He takes it for ball 2. And if you want to acknowledge that the starting pitching has been much better as we've moved through the season, you'd be remiss if you didn't give Kurt Suzuki an awful lot of credit for that. I think we've seen rather dramatic results with Kevin Correa. Now the Correa 2 is matched up with Suzuki. Hook foul. The concern now is, and we all thought, at least I did, that as the season wore along, that there would be more of the workload shifted onto Josniel Pinto. Instead, Pinto's now down in the minor leagues trying to improve his catching ability,
right,
and more of the workload is being put on Suzuki.
Had an opportunity this afternoon to sit down with Kyle Gibson and Phil Hughes, and they both of them raved about having the opportunity to throw to Suzuki.
You look at
Phil Hughes said, you know what, he could go 0 for 4. He doesn't care. Now, he's going to get some hits. He's hitting over 300, but his main goal is to control that pitching staff, and he's done a great job of that. And it's just getting better and better as the season goes on.
3-2. Popped up, backing out of play. Now, you do it in one place, that's one thing. When you do it in 2 places, well, now maybe something's going on there. And when you've done it now in a third city for a third club, as Suzuki's done it with Oakland, Washington, and now here in Minnesota, well, maybe the common denominator has something to do with that.
A lot of young, talented arms in Oakland. Of course, you know, Nationals pretty young. And here, just getting to know his staff. It takes time, I'm sure. Who you can kind of bark at and who you have to baby through some outings.
And you can try to accelerate the process in spring training, but it's never the same.
Well, because spring training pitchers basically first 2 or 3 outings just work on the fastball, building the arm strength, and you know, toward the end, maybe your last couple starts, you start mixing in your pitches. But now this is stuff that shows up on the back of your bubblegum card.
And a great at bat. Suzuki rewarded, driving one to the bullpen area.
See, he didn't strike out when I mentioned it.
That might be one of his better at bats of the season. He fell behind, worked the count full, fouled off a bunch of 2-strike pitches, and then whacked a double.
That's his first at bat too against Quintana, so that kind of surprised me. I thought they would have met somewhere along the line, but look at a fastball down in the zone, almost maybe a 4-iron shot right here, and he hits it in a perfect spot to the right of Eaton, who can cover a lot of ground. But for Suzuki, it's a double, his 13th of the year.
On the 10th pitch of the at bat, the 1-out double, and here's Chris Parmelee. It was Parmelee who hit what we all thought was one of the biggest home runs of the year for the Twins in the 10th inning, hitting it against Koji Uehara, who does not give up home runs, doesn't give up runs. And the Twins very briefly had a 1-0 lead. I went up to Chris afterwards to congratulate him. It was a 3-hit game, and it just had the expression of somebody who just had their dog stolen. I mean, he just felt terrible because the Twins lost the ball game.
He had a great day at the plate yesterday.
2 strikes to Parmelee. Parmalee hitting one. First of all, he got it past Brock Holt. That wasn't easy for the Twins to do all series long. And into the Boston bullpen. And the Twins had a 1-0 lead going to the bottom of the 10th. Then we don't need to replay, I don't suppose, what happened in the bottom of the 10th.
No, we do not.
Had to be, for Twins fans, as it was for me, one of the toughest walk-off losses in a long, long time.
That's what the game of baseball can make you do. You know, feel so good. I mean, Parmalee, like you mentioned, that ball almost went into center field. Nice play by Ramirez getting that short hop. Well, you know, you're high, and then all of a sudden, you know, a couple pitches later, boom, you're back down to earth again. Look at that throw right there. Yeah. Ramirez did everything he could to keep that ball in his glove. Trying to keep Suzuki close to second.
One and two. And Parmalee strikes out. We'll bring up Escobar.
Strikeout number 3 for Quintana.
Everything that's been put in play has been hit hard, including Mauer's double play grounder in the first.
Quintana just rearing back and challenging Parmalee and threw the fastball right by him.
Bring up Escobar. So it was a very hard to digest walk-off loss yesterday. And then after the game, who's the first person I run into in the press box at Fenway Park? But the guy who coined the phrase, the walk-off loss, Dennis Eckersley. That was his 25, 30 years ago. And he was there to join the Boston broadcast team, and he was asking me why Glenn Perkins wasn't on the field to get the save. And of course, at the time I didn't know, but Glenn announced that he is ready to go tonight should the save situation present itself.
Let's hope it does.
Nice block by Flowers, and it's 1-1. Here's another guy, Escobar. White Sox know him well. The White Sox were his team till the Liriano trade sent him to Minnesota. But he's playing on an everyday basis. That's not been his history. And some people are forever waiting for the batting average to nosedive, and he keeps, you know, a tick or two above the 300 mark.
Not only hitting good from both sides of the plate, I think it's his overall attitude. He swung at a breaking ball in the dirt right there. Quintana ahead in the count.
21 doubles among his 54 hits. A couple of home runs mixed in, one from each side of the plate, a .455 slugging percentage, which is more than Brian Dozier's. We think, well, Dozier with all the home runs mixing in, you know, 11 doubles and all that. Escobar's got a bigger or higher slugging percentage than Brian Dozier.
Standing right on top of the plate.
And he goes after that breaking ball again. Flowers needs to throw to first and does. A couple of extra base hits for the Twins, including a leadoff home run and a long one off the bat of Josh Willingham.
419-foot home run.
Presented by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealers today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Josh Willingham with a solo home run. Twins have a 1-0 lead. And Johan Pino has retired 6 of the 7 men he's faced so far.
Pino, there's your run. Hold him.
You lately haven't been too far from the truth. Alejandro De Aza having a tough time overall, but he's been another Twins wrecker over the years. And he takes a strike after taking a ball.
Pino getting ahead in the count. 6 of 8 first pitch strikes so far.
De Aza has 5 home runs on the year, 3 of them against the Twins already. 1 and 2. He had a great opening series in Chicago. And Pino will try to get him here leading off the 3rd. Pulled foul off the screen in front of the Twins dugout.
It's getting in the kitchen right there.
I think what the Kansas City Royals have done is they've offered encouragement to the White Sox and the Twins, proving, if it needed to be proven, that the Tigers can be beat. Now the Tigers beat the Royals in the finale of that 4-game series 2-1. Joe Nathan struck out the side in the 9th, a much needed inning for Nathan. So Kansas City's win streak ended at 10 today.
Anibal Sanchez pitched a very good ball game to get to that Joe Nathan 9th inning.
The Tigers now are a half game behind the Royals. Slap to left, and Willingham will play it on a hop, and De Aza again continues to hit well against the Twins. That'll bring up Tyler Flowers. Well, I know the worst part of your vacation. How long was it? 6 weeks you took off?
About that, yeah.
You missed out on the carsoup.com trivia questions. Who holds the Twins rookie record for wins in a season by a pitcher? Now, how many did you win?
I'm going to go with Bluegill Hughes. Jim Hughes.
Okay. Well, how many did you win in 1970?
10. Hugo, I think, won more than that.
10. Tyler Flowers, the batter. Ended an 0 for 25 skid yesterday with a 2-run single. Last 17 games hitting .077.
Again, doing a good job. 7 of 9 first pitch strikes. We'll see Jim Hughes when we go to Anaheim.
You're going to Anaheim?
Yes.
On the next road
I am
trip?
making a trip, yes. And then Texas. Now, we have not seen Pino's move to first base, and De Aza would like a couple throwovers. See what he has. De Aza with 8 stolen bases in 12 attempts.
White Sox steal about as often as the Twins do. If the right guys are on, the right situation, they'll take off. Flowers snaps his bat.
Oh, beautiful sound.
11-game road trip.
I miss that sound.
11-game road trip for the White Sox. Your first swing on the road trip, and you're already down a bat. Two strikes.
By the end of the road trip, he might be using Abreu's bats.
80 strikeouts in 190 at bats. That's almost half and half. Slow breaking ball, and Flowers was lucky to make contact.
Flowers in his 6th season with the White Sox, former backup to A.J. Pierzynski for many years.
2 strikes to the White Sox catcher. White Sox got a 2-out double in the second. Now a leadoff single in the third. Just off the outside corner. Long hold and a look over. Time called at the plate. Runner goes and the pitch popped up. Diaz is going to have to hustle back. And Suzuki catches the ball in foul territory, and Diaz does get back to the bag. So Flowers puts it in play in foul territory, 1 down. Bring up Eaton. Join the Twins season ticket family and receive discounts on some of your purchases at Target Field. As a season ticket holder, you'll receive a 10% discount on concessions and merchandise while you're at the ball game. So call 800-33-TWINS. Visit twinsbaseball.com. Find out how you can become a season ticket holder and take advantage of all those perks. Diaz is still at first, 1 down, and now Adam Eaton struck out swinging his first time up. And there goes Diaz, and the ball bounced through the hole to left. Diaz will round second and go to third. Hit and run single for Eaton, and the White Sox have runners on the corners with a 1 out.
And that's the type of hitter that Eaton is right there. Ball away, and Santana shading him a little bit up the middle. You can see the hole right there as Escobar has to come in and cut down that range because of the possible bunt of Eaton. Ball hit into left field, and with Diaz running, he makes it over to third.
The tying run at third. Twins would like this lead, acknowledging it's just a 1-run lead, but they'd like this lead to hold up a little while. That's been one of the problems through this 5-game losing streak. Beckham struck out his first time up. Down low, ball 1.
2 double plays turned behind Pino in AAA Rochester this year. In 7 starts, 14 appearances.
Low again, 2-0. Pino is traded to the Cleveland Indians for Carl Pavano. And Pavano, in parts of 5 years with the Twins, was a .500 pitcher, 37 and 37. But in 2010, his first full year with the Twins, he led the staff, 17 wins, 11 losses. Off the plate, 3-0. And so clearly the Twins got the better of that trade. Pino never developed through the Cleveland system. And he's in his first big league mess here. First and third and 1 out. 3-0 to Beckham. And a 4-pitch walk will load him up for Connor Gillespie.
That first walk for Pino.
4 of the last 6 batters have reached with 3 hits and now a walk.
Yeah, Rick Anderson, a quick trip to the mound out to talk to his right-hander. Jackson just trying to settle him down a little bit right here. Words of encouragement from the pitching coach.
Mentioned in his first at bat, Gillespie's been awfully good for the White Sox lately.
He hit that sharp ground ball that kind of went up the middle, and Dozier made a nice sliding catch to get him out. Threw him out at first. See if he can do it again. Get another ground ball to Brian Dozier.
Doesn't have enough at bats, but if he did, his .335 average would lead the American League in hitting. Hitting .348 in his last 19 games, .364 in the last 24. Popped up behind third, and Willingham comes up a step short. One strike.
Sometimes this game is a game of breaks right there. Good pitch, outer half of the plate. Gillespie right off the end of the bat. Just hit it into that area that Willingham couldn't get to it. Santana, good hustle, just out of his reach.
Gillespie 179 at bats and only 2 ground ball double plays.
He spent time on a disabled list, left hand contusion back in late April, early May.
Pino gets ahead. Line to center, a base hit. Fuld will play it on a hop. 2 runs are going to score. They tag the runner out at second. Dozier with the cutoff, and Beckham got caught just 1 step off the bag, but the throw was right to the second base bag.
Good job by Sam Fuld right there, throwing that ball back in, hitting the cutoff man, and that being Dozier right on the bag. And Beckham trying to round the bag, maybe thinking the ball, you see the pitch left up. And Gillespie continues to swing a hot bat. Eaton scores from second base. And Beckham right there kind of went a little bit too far. And Dozier, the quick tag. But for the second out.
Runner at first, 2 down, and here's Abreu. Popped it up down the right field line. Dozier with a really long run, and no play. And Dozier is okay. That was a dangerous play. With a long sprint by Dozier. That's another foul pop for strike 1.
We see Mauer chasing it too. Dozier just reaches out, comes up a bit short.
One strike to Abreu. Second ball gets a swinging strike 2.
Saw by that swing by Abreu, he does not get cheated.
Back to the screen. .50 pitches already for Pino.
21 pitches so far this inning. 13 in the first, 16 in the second.
Foul ball back into the seats. White Sox striking for a couple so far, with 2 gone in the 3rd inning. Strikes out. That ends the 3rd inning, but 2 Chicago runs on 3 singles and a walk, and the Twins' lead is short-lived again. 2-1.
Oh, Johan Pino making his major league debut. Good start. Struck out the first 2 batters, 2 shutout innings. Then gave up a couple hits or a couple runs. But Twins put on the board in the second inning thanks to Josh Willingham's a long home run. Gave him a 1-0 lead. But White Sox came back with 2 in the top of the third.
Sam Fuld will lead off the Twins' third. Twins will hope that the White Sox lead is as short as the Twins' lead was. Aaron Hicks started a rehab assignment tonight at Double-A. Played 6 innings. Fuld will, I would guess, see most of the time in center field with ball left center. Hanging up for De Aza. 1 down. With the third base situation being what it is, Eduardo Nunez put on the disabled list today. That allowed Pino to be activated onto the 25-man roster, and Trevor Plouffe still nearly 2 weeks away. Talked to Trevor today. Said his rib area feels much better, and he thinks that the 15 days will be enough. He's hoping not to need a rehab assignment. Hopes to join the ball club in Texas. Santana to the left field corner. That's down for a hit. Santana has 2. Santana will hold up there. Well, the throw over the cutoff man and well off the third base bag, but now Santana works his way into scoring position with a double.
Yeah, didn't waste any time. Jumped on that first pitch, lined it right down that left field line. Santana is 7th double of the year. Little breaking ball, just dropping the barrel of the bat, hooking that ball down into the corner. Piazza has to go chase it in the corner.
Well, that's something Ron Gardenhire's mentioned a couple of times regarding Danny Santana. He will look bad on a pitch early in a ball game, and ended up striking out on that breaking ball down and in. Or actually, no, he chased a fastball away, but he's seen the breaking ball down and in earlier in that at bat, and then in the second, third at bat, he's ready for it. And if you hang it at all, he can put a really good swing on it.
Well, he's had some great at-bats already, Santana.
Twins would like to work him around with the tying run. 1-0 to Dozier, who drew a walk in the first inning. Any hit to the outfield, particularly as treacherous as the footing must be in the outfield, should score Santana from second. And Dozier did not have a good road trip, and with his disappointing series in Boston, the average down to 234.
Yeah, I want him to make the All-Star team, but I'd like to see that batting average get up there a little bit. Currently hitting at 234.
Second base is a pretty deep position with, we just left Dustin Pedroia, Ian Kinsler in Detroit,
Robinson Cano,
Jose Altuve of Houston.
Well, Dozier second on the club in runs batted in with 35. Trevor Plouffe leading with 38. So again, Plouffe's bat is missed in the lineup.
That's a called strike, raising his arms out of the way. 2-2.
One walk, 4 strikeouts for Quintana.
And 51 pitches thrown for him as he tries to fight his way through the third inning with the lead. Busher takes a called third strike. Looked at strike 2 and strike 3 for out number 2.
And strikeout number 5. I see Brian Dozier going, wow. Take a look at the pitch.
Right there. According to Foxtrot.
Yep. Knee high.
That'll bring up Mauer, and a double by Santana will be wasted unless Mauer comes through here. Really good numbers against Quintana, and he hit the ball hard his first time up, sharply to the backhand side of Ramirez, who started an inning-ending double play. Ball one. Mauer now 7 for 16 with a couple of home runs against Quintana. In the outside corner at 80 miles per hour.
Mauer's 2 home runs this year coming here at Target Field. One here against Kansas City, also one here against Baltimore. Both 3-run home runs.
Two and one.
Quintana, just 25 years old, making his 70th major league start. He has 18 wins, 20 losses. Opponents coming in hitting .268. Left-handers .270. Right-handers .268 against him. Base hit right here would probably score the speedy Santana.
Punch to left.
Get down.
Down for a hit. Santana around third. Mauer with a 2-out single. And the game is tied. So as De Aza continues to pick up hits against the Twins and pivotal hits, Mauer, who has had great success against Quintana, comes through with 2 outs.
Yeah, we've seen Joe hit a lot of balls toward left field that are hit sharply. That one right off the end of the bat, landing in front of De Aza, and of course with 2 outs, see Santana at the bottom of your screen. He's off with the contact, and with his speed, he scores easily to tie the game at 2 apiece. So Mauer picking up an RBI, his 17th of the year.
Willingham clubbed a long home run to give the Twins an early 1-0 lead. And he now is 9 for 16 with 3 home runs and 3 walks. One of those guys that feels really comfortable against Quintana, and he just happens to be a big power hitter. Outside ball. No, Willingham's a strikeout guy too. Most power hitters are. And here Willingham has stepped in the box 19 times against Quintana. He's only struck him out once.
Well, what you end up doing as a pitcher, sometimes you face a guy and you know he's had good success, and you fall behind right away. That's going to go into the crowd, right over the Twins dugout.
1-1.
Quintana making his 8th career start against the Twins. He's 2-2 in his career, but a very high 5.87 earned run average. This is his 3rd start here at Target Field.
He takes a fastball for a strike. 1-2. Really struggled, obviously, over the last 5 games of the road trip, scoring runs, in most of them anyway. 1-2 to Willingham. And he takes outside. But don't things look better when your cleanup hitter homers, your number 3 hitter gets a 2-out single to drive in a run? It's amazing how much better your lineup looks when the guys in the middle produce.
That is such a big hit for Joe Mauer. Of course, we all know he's been struggling, but with 2 outs, he's also been struggling in that situation, but comes up with a big RBI single.
And now 3-2 to Willingham with Morales on deck.
Look at the hit speed of that 419-foot home run. Kind of like your golf swing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Very much like that. My drives typically go about 419 feet too.
Yeah, golfing's in yards, isn't it?
There goes another one if it's fair. That was in every bit as long as the home run, but 25 feet to the left of the home run. My goodness, did he tattoo that one?
Short, compact swing. Whoa. The uppercut swing, hoping that it would stay fair as Willingham, but the ball hooks foul. Look where that ball ended up.
Just walk him. Just walk him. To center and deep. Eaton going back, and he makes the catch 405 feet from home plate. The Twins tie it up, and it's 2 apiece. All-Star festivities include Fan Fest and some great former Twins, other baseball legends scheduled to appear. Bert Blyleven is going to be there.
Yes, I will.
Kent Hrbek, Tony Oliva, Rod Carew, Jack Morris, Paul Molitor, Orlando Cepeda, Juan Marichal, Gaylord Perry, Dave Winfield, Lolly Fingers. You can visit allstargame.com/FanFestLegend.
There's some great names on there, but fans, if you want to meet a true gentleman, get a chance to shake the hand of Juan Marichal.
Yeah?
What a nice man. A nasty pitcher, but a nice man.
We were in San Francisco. I had a chance to spend a little time with Orlando Cepeda, and he asked me to do two things. Say hello to his great friends in the Twin Cities, including Tony Oliva, and also he was very excited to see the new ballpark. The Baby Bull Hall of Famer.
Strong.
2 strikes to Adam Dunn. It'll pop up to Brian Dozier in short right field, and that's exactly where Dozier's playing him now with 2 strikes. 1-2. We'll see how Pino responds to having kind of a rough inning where the White Sox got 3 hits and a walk.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, Dick. You know, the first time around, a lot of takes on the first pitch. 7 of 9 first pitch strikes. A lot of the hitters for the White Sox kind of took that first pitch. See what he's got. Second time around, they're swinging the bat a lot more aggressively.
Fly ball to right field. Parmalee in front of Dozier. 1 away. Let's find Kevin Gore.
Yeah, guys, time for our Sanford Health injury report. Tough news out of our nation's capital. For former White Sox pitcher Gavin Floyd, who tonight was pitching a gem. 6 innings of shutout ball, 6 strikeouts in a win that he would earn. But unfortunately, throwing a pitch Looks like he broke a bone in his right elbow. Very tough news. He's going back to Atlanta to be reevaluated. Just came back from Tommy John surgery this year, so Gavin Floyd gets the win, but obviously a painful one at that.
Very sad news there.
Terrible news. Gavin Floyd, of course, part of the big White Sox. Oh my, that staggers Mike Malinsky behind the plate.
And Malinsky's going to stay down a while.
He went down and is in no hurry to get back up.
No.
Dave Brewmer, the trainer, checking him. Right in the front center of the mask. Two years of service time as a fill-in umpire, full-time major league umpire for the first time this year.
Kind of checking his jaw out a little bit right there.
Washington State native. Yeah, I always go by Dave Brewmer. If he's smiling or smirking, then it's just a matter of time. Everything will be fine.
Mark Wegner, the first base umpire, the crew chief here. Andy Fletcher at second. Greg Siegel at third. All concerned. Where are the umpires?
The Twin Cities area with a couple of crew chiefs, Jeff Nelson, Mark Wegner, both promoted during this offseason. So Malinsky appears to be okay. It's easy for me to say. I'm 200 feet from him. But Alexei Ramirez hooked a double into the left field corner his first time up. Ramirez checking with the umpire, making sure he's okay. And off the plate. Pounded foul, 1-2. It's to right center field. And full in front of Parmalee, makes the catch, out number 2.
Boy, you have to really communicate right there with the noise factor of the fans. The center fielder is the captain out there. And maybe at the last second, Parmalee kind of gave away. It looked like both of them were merging together to maybe try to make this catch. And right at the last second, you see Parmalee kind of backing away and Full cutting in front of him. And makes the catch.
2 down, Viciedo the batter.
Always a dangerous play.
I was always concerned about that in the Metrodome with the noise and the cacophony when the crowd was really big and you had 50-some thousand people there. The bouncer to third, how there weren't more outfield collisions, I'll never know. Escobar firing across, and Pino responds with a 1-2-3 fourth inning. Only in Minnesota can you attend the upcoming 2016 Ryder Cup. Minnesota, known as a top U.S. golf destination, has over 400 courses characterized by beautiful natural settings, way too much water and trees. That's just my assessment. Excellent conditions and affordability. Visit exploreminnesota.com. Discover a world that's only in Minnesota. Too much sand, too.
Well, that's why they make the fairways.
Tag your photos and experiences with hashtag #OnlyInMN. There are championship courses throughout the state. Minnesota was the first state to host all USGA championships. Also home to the Champions Tour, the 3M Championship.
You know that green area that kind of goes from the tee over to the green? That's
yes.
The area you're supposed to try to hit it in.
Okay, well, here's Morales leading off the fourth inning. Morales hoping to get out of a bit of a skid. I don't think anyone thought that he would average 2 hits a game like he did in his first series in Toronto, or maybe even 1 hit a game as he did in Detroit. Sure, everyone anticipated there'd be some stretches like the one he's going through now over the last 4 games.
Yeah, you can take all the batting practice you want. Of course, Morales was signing late and getting his at bats here. Last year was Seattle, great year. 156 ball games he played in. He had 277, 23 home runs, drove in 80 runs, 37 doubles.
And we have to remember, this is his Target Field debut as a Twin. He was signed here at the end of the last homestand, and we were told might be a week, might be 2 weeks, whatever, before he plays, and then he played the very next day at the Rogers Center in Toronto. 1-2. Jam shot and a pop up to deep short. Ramirez camps under it. 1 down.
Quintana got into the kitchen right there.
Suzuki will bat next. Join the Minnesota Lynx for the Dads and Daughters ticket offer presented by Fox Sports North on Sunday, June 22nd against the Indiana Fever. For just $33, fans receive 2 tickets to the game and a drawstring backpack. For details, visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the More tab for details.
Go Lynx.
Here's Suzuki, great at bat. And on the 10th pitch of the at bat, he hit a gapper to the bullpen area in left center for a double. Ball 1.
Pitch number 70 coming for Quintana.
Time of the ball game, though, where you're thinking it's natural for a position player to think. I'm guessing everybody in the Twins lineup is thinking this. Here's Pino, major league debut, age 30, 11th year in professional baseball. Pitch count is up there a little bit. We need to get him a run in the event he doesn't get past the 5th inning. We want to get him out of the game with a lead and see if we can make it a completely magical night for him with his first win. 1-2 to his catcher. Suzuki fell behind in his first at bat. Fouled off some pitches with 2 strikes, worked the count full, and then cracked a double.
His 13th double of the year.
And now 3-2 again with Parmalee on deck. Popped up right side. Viciedo coming in. 4 out, number 2. That'll bring up Chris Parmalee. Finally went down swinging his first time up. Twins had a chance to score more than the one run they got in the second. Willingham led off the inning with a homer. Suzuki doubled with one out. But then Parmelee and Escobar both went down swinging. Ball strike one.
Twins hitting a lot of balls in the air. Only one ground ball out I have, and that's the double play off the bat of Joe Mauer.
1-1 to Parmelee. To left center field, and it'll run to the wall. Parmelee has an extra base hit, and he pulls into second with a double. The Twins have 5 hits in the ball game, 4 of them for extra base hits.
Well, that's nice to see. I know yesterday Parmelee, besides the home run, his other hits up the middle the other way. That's always a good sign for a hitter when you can take a pitch the other way. The power numbers will come. Especially a guy like Parmelee who's hit 4 home runs, but right there a double, his first double of the year for Parmelee.
Twins got a 2-out hit from Mauer to tie the game in the third. And a 2-out hit here from Escobar to put them in front. People who cover the White Sox say they still miss this guy. And Escobar has blossomed this year with more regular duty. There's a ball hit to left center field, and Eaton races over to make the catch. Second inning in a row where Eaton has shown off his range to close out an inning.
Winner's Circle, $100 in scratch-off tickets for our lucky winners tonight. We have a big day coming up in about 48 hours. Jeremy and Kelly are from Maple Grove. They sat through that rain delay. They're huge Twins fans. Let's just hope there's no rain delay on Saturday for your big day. You nervous?
Not at all. Not at all.
Obviously, you guys are huge fans. You're getting circled by a Hall of Famer in Burt Blyland right now. You're the bride-to-be. How much fun are you having?
Oh, so much fun.
Big smiles down here, guys. Obviously, a lot of Twins fans stuck through that rain delay, and these guys know in a couple days they're going to be hitched forever. Should be very special.
Yeah, now Kevin asked, the gentleman, is he nervous? What about the young lady? We're going to have a little delay right here as I believe
Mike Malinsky is probably not going to be able to complete this game. And first it was Pino, and now the rest of the Twins infield's coming off the field here. After he took the foul ball in the Ramirez at bat in the top of the 4th inning, during the inning break, Dave Trumer, the Twins lead trainer, came out again to check on him. And I think they have determined that Malinsky is going to be better off in a hotel room someplace, at the very least. Ball got him right in the jaw, center of the mask. And so it would appear, based on what I'm seeing in that shot, that Mark Wegner will inherit the plate. So he is back in the umpire's room, dressing room, which is adjacent. The entrance to it from the field is adjacent to the White Sox dugout. I did not see him leave, but I'm pretty convinced that's what's happening.
Pino already had to wait a couple hours for this game to start. Now he kind of has to sit and wait for the top of the 5th inning.
Saturday, a full night of MLB action beginning with Baseball Night in America on Fox as Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers battle the Indians. Then the Rangers take on Mike Trout and the Angels over on Fox Sports 1. It's an MLB doubleheader beginning Saturday at 6 Central on Fox and continues at 9 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1. Twins are playing a day game that day against the White Sox. And we're happy to have a ball game for you here tonight, later than we had hoped. But I don't think anybody wanted to push this game back to the end of July or whatever the options might have been.
Well, the technology that the Twins have of the bad weather that was here, and then how soon it's going to clear up. They were right on. They said, they kind of told us between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, and the game started a little bit after 9 o'clock. Again, great job by the ground crew getting this field ready.
And we obviously hope the very best for Mike Malinsky.
Yes. Well, we saw in Fenway Park what Kevin Correa was able to do against the Boston Red Sox. 6 very, very good innings, only 1 run allowed, and then Phil Hughes followed with a complete game loss, but still 8 very good innings. And then Kyle Gibson, my goodness, only 1 hit allowed in 7 shutout innings. He has had now 22 consecutive shutout innings under his belt.
Of those 3 starts, the thing that I think Twins fans should be most excited about, Hughes has been pitching well. Gibson has been pitching well. But if this team is going to get back to and hopefully above the 500 mark, they need all the starters to grab an oar. And Correa has come up with back-to-back really good starts now since he's been matched with Kurt Suzuki behind the plate.
Yeah, you think Correa, he lost that ball game 1-0 back on Monday night. Then Tuesday, the Twins lost 2-1. And then yesterday's ball game, a 2-1 10-inning loss to the Boston Red Sox.
You see Mark Wegner with the home plate umpire's gear. Here was Gibson with a wonderful outing yesterday.
7 innings, 1 hit allowed for Gibson. And he attacked the strike zone. No walks in that ball game for Kyle, and a career high 8 strikeouts.
Now you look at those 3 guys. Ricky Nolasco, who's supposed to be the leader of this rotation, has had a couple of marginally better starts now. The hope is he'll turn a corner here tomorrow. And then suddenly you got a rotation that if everybody is pitching well over an extended period of time, the Twins can do what the Royals have already done. Royals are where they are right now, leading the division. Not because they changed hitting coaches again and they've been hitting the ball better. It's because they're pitching steady.
You go by your starting pitching. No matter if you're, the Detroit Tigers, who have been struggling, it's basically their starters have not pitched as well as everybody expected them to.
So Fletcher will be down the right field line. Siegel will be down the left field line, and Mark Wegner picking up home plate duties midway through this game as we head to the 5th inning.
This game is about quality starts. What's a quality start? 6 innings, 3 earned runs or less. And when the Twins have been able to get that this year, they're 25-8. So again, pitching.
Alejandro De Aza singled in the 3rd and then scored the tying run later in the inning. And he takes strike 1 from Johan Pino.
14 of 17 first pitch strikes for Pino. So a good job of getting ahead in the count. Just one little hiccup that coming in the 3rd inning when he gave up 3 hits.
to right, hit hard, and Parmalee smothers it. It's a base hit for De Aza again. And Parmalee lucky he was able to even trap that ball. De Aza with another leadoff single. No protest from Parmalee, so there will be no replay.
Yeah, Andy Fletcher, the first base umpire, now kind of went out a little bit, but watch the trap right here. And that's what Andy Fletcher saw. Good effort right here by Parmalee, just out of his reach.
Tyler Flowers fouled out to Kurt Suzuki his first time up. And on that pitch, for the second time in the at-bat, De Aza took off for second base.
Flowers has one sacrifice on the year. He's swinging away.
Foul back. Five hits for each team.
Flowers now looking down at Joe McEwen, the third base coach.
Flowers has been hitting the skids after he hit pretty well the first 2 months of the year. Told you about Flowers' propensity for striking out. Only bounced into one double play in almost 200 at bats. Of course, if you're striking out 80 times in 190 at bats, you're not going to hit into too many ground ball double plays, are you? High and deep to center. Full going back, still back, makes the catch at the base of the wall. I thought that ball was gone.
So did I. Flowers, great extension right there. Very powerful young man. And hit it to the deepest part of the field. Look at that swing. And Fold going back. He's going back. Right against the wall, makes the catch. And Dino saying thank you very much. Whew. Okay. Just a long fly out.
Need to keep an eye on De Aza here, because after Flowers was retired in the third, Adam Eaton bounced a hit and run single to left field. White Sox had runners at first and third, then a walk and a two-run single, and Pino found himself behind on the scoreboard.
Again, Escobar, the third baseman, you're in on the grass, taking the possible bunt away from him.
Up high, ball one. Eaton has brought some speed and some energy to the top of the Chicago lineup. Both were needed.
Came over from the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Time called by Wegman.
Eaton missed some time on a disabled list back in early May, strained right hamstring.
And missing low 2-0. .69 pitches and 50 strikes. But he walked Beckham in the third.
The second time he's thrown over to Joe Mauer when De Aza's had a foot on the bag.
The element of surprise. There goes De Aza, and the ball not handled cleanly by Suzuki. It'll be a stolen base.
Yeah, stolen base number 9 on the year for De Aza, and for the White Sox, their 40th. 55 tries.
Well, luckily that didn't allow for another base for De Aza.
Well, had a little sink on it right there, right at the bottom of the glove of Suzuki.
Now a strike. 3-1. Suzuki just got a little bit of leather on it, then it hit his shin guard. That ball could have caromed anywhere.
Beckham on deck.
Popped up. Escobar has No play. Trying to pitch out of another situation. And 1-2-3 first, or 1-2-3 fourth. Gave up a 2-out double in the second. Kind of a messy third inning, and now a leadoff single has created some issue here in the fifth. Swing and a miss. 3 and 3.
Big strikeout right there for Pino. His fifth took something off that, and for the second time, Eaton strikes out, swinging. Took something off, changeup, and Eaton way out front. Big out right there with now 2 outs here in the fifth.
Popped up. And Suzuki looks like he's got a play. Nearly tripped over the debris in the on-deck circle, but he does catch a foul pop. And Pino pitches around the leadoff single in the stolen base. Some Pepsi fans of the game who've endured a rain delay officially of 2 hours and 6 minutes. It's a pleasant night for baseball. Looks like we got a good game going here.
Well, again, I tip my hat. I know we're not wearing hats, but I tip it anyway to all the fans that stuck around during that long delay.
Sam Fuld will lead off the Twins fifth. And if the Twins want to give Pino a win here tonight, they need to get him a lead at some point. And Fuld flares it foul. 2 strikes. Fuld, Santana, Dozier. Some speed to work with should anybody get on base. Blocked by Flowers. Don has given up 3 doubles, a home run, and a single. That's to left center, and Eaton again is going to range over in the gap to haul it in. Man, if they kept him busy.
He can cover some ground.
1 down in the fifth. Target Field suites are available for single game rentals for groups of 16 to 96. You can choose from 3 different suite types to fit your needs. No matter which one you choose, you'll enjoy the climate-controlled experience with a fantastic view of the game. Food and beverages included in every purchase. Find out more by calling 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. One down in the fifth. Here's Danny Santana. Pulled a double into the left field corner his last time up and scored the tying run. One strike. Chopper right side. Easy play for Beckham. Two down. One thing the Twins would like to do with so many games left against the White Sox is continue to show competitiveness within the division. Right now, Twins have faced the Indians 7 times. They've won 3 of them. All 7 games have been in Cleveland. Twins are 1-2 against the White Sox, but those games were in Chicago. They've played the Tigers even 4-4. They have the edge on the Royals 4-2. And a couple things we've talked about before. Competitiveness. There's Dozier driving one to left. It's deep. It's to the wall. It's halfway up the wall. Dozier's going to try for 2. And he's in with a double. A 2-out double for Dozier. And a go-ahead runners in scoring position.
Yeah, Dozier jumping on that first pitch, hitting his 12th double, just out of the reach of Piazza, and he plays the carom perfectly and gets it back in. But Dozier, a 2-out double.
And the Twins now have 4 doubles in the ball game and a home run. We'll bring up Mauer with another runner at second and 2 out.
Yeah, the only single so far, not an extra base hit, came off the bat of Joe Mauer when he drove in Santana for the tying run. That in the 3rd inning.
Twins will take another single here. And time called. A couple things we've talked about though, Bert, is the Twins hope to play their way out of the 3-year hole that they've been in. They need to play better at home. Got to win your home games, and you have to win within your division.
I think when the Twins have been successful and get to postseason, they win within a division. Especially, you're going to face these teams in your division 19 times each. Right now, the Twins are 12-12 in the Central Division. Flowers sitting inside. Ball down and away. Dozier hitting this ball sharply, but it's the first couple steps out of the box right there. Dozier hustling and sliding in safely ahead of a very good throw by Piazza.
Mauer takes a strike, 1-1. Well, to that end, the Twins have played the fewest home games in the division so far. They've played the fewest games within the division. The White Sox are almost halfway done with their home schedule already. They played 39 home games. Mauer takes low, and it's 2-1.
The White Sox have struggled on the road, 14-19 on the road when they're 21-18 at home. So Robin Ventura right there, his 3rd season as the manager of the White Sox.
Hitters count. See what Mauer can do with it as the Twins hope to take a lead here in the bottom of the 5th. 2-2. That's what's been so difficult for Joe to tolerate this year. He knows he's not done well in a category that he typically does well in.
Yep. That's why the RBI total is down for Joe this season, but that's then, and hopefully this base hit will be now to maybe drive in Dozier.
Came inside and got a foul tip. Flowers hangs on, and we head to the 6th, still tied at 2.
Both starters pitching very well here. Only 16 more pitches used by Quintana over Pinto, but 5 innings. Both have allowed 2 runs. Both have walked 1. Quintana with 1 more strikeout.
Connor Gillespie's driven in the 2 Chicago runs with a single. Slow breaking ball. Ball 1. Gillespie's hit the ball hard twice against Pino. Sharp ground ball in the first inning. Dozier made a nice play to throw him out. Tom Kelly would have called that a diamond cutter in the 3rd inning that scored 2 runs. It's to center and Full hustling back. He gets there, 1 away.
I think what we're seeing is 2 young, 2 pretty good center fielders that can cover a lot of ground. We saw Eaton going left to right. Fold right there has to go back a couple times in this ball game.
Jose Abreu has struck out twice tonight, but he's been a force to be reckoned with.
Look at that, 58 ball games already, 20 home runs. Tremendous power.
Didn't hit a home run against the Twins, but he did get 5 hits and 12 at bats in the frigid conditions at U.S. Cellular Field back in March and April. You can believe that we started this regular season in March.
And it was cold.
And it was cold in May. Mauer will go to the ball and Pino to the bag. Mauer caught in front of Brian Dozier and went a long way to get the ground ball. 2 down. Dunn coming to the plate to look at the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag NorthFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. And a young Twins fan out there by the Kent Hrbek statue. Unless that's Kent Hrbek.
There's a mini Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's a good play by Joe Mauer because of the shift. Joe went to his right, and Pino, your responsibility is to get over there. A very nice lead too for Joe to the pitcher covering the bag.
Fouled away, 2 strikes to Dunn. This guy's kept the Twins obviously in the game. The inning where the White Sox got their 2 runs, he was helped by a nice throw from Sam Full that picked off Beckham at second base for a big second out. Popped up, backing out of play.
Boy, he's changing speeds well. I watched the speed, the pitch speed, and you don't see too many that are, say, that last one was clocked here at 88. This one may be 85, might be 91. That's 91, 92. That's where he's kind of tapped out. Here's a changeup.
Floats outside, 1 and 2.
And that clocked here at 79. So doing a very good job of adding and subtracting and throwing strikes. 82 pitches, 60 strikes.
2 and 2.
Pitch at 81. 3rd inning when the White Sox went ahead 2-1. 23 pitches. Other than that, very good control of pitches per inning.
High fly to right. Harmony is back, and now he'll come in. Man, he can hit a tall one, can he? Gee. A 1-2-3-6 for Johan Pino. Toyota. Let's go places. To find your nearest Toyota dealer and check out our current offers, visit buyatoyota.com. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's, where right now you can score a delicious, creamy McCafe iced coffee starting at just $1.59. Don't worry, those are not snow flurries. We've got moths flying around here. They must like all the rain. Pino's done a great job here with the Twins in a tie game. Josh Willingham will lead off the bottom of the 6th. And Quintana trying to keep this a tie game, and the first guy that he has to face has just made a lot of noise against him tonight.
Well, a total of 824 feet in his 2 outs. His home run 419, then he hit that one, and we're saying 405 feet. A little shorter one right there to Ramirez. A quick out for Quintana.
That'll bring up Kendrys Morales. Quintana's done a fine job too. He's given him a lot of extra base hits, but
well, he's pitched well this year. He came in with a 3-7 record, but an ERA under 4. 9 of his 14 starts coming into today's play have been quality starts, but again, not getting a lot of run support as he did last year.
Morales hitless in his last 15 at bats. Would like to end that in this at bat. Missing the outside corner, 1-1. Popped up, right field. Viciedo makes the call. And the catch, 2 away. Bring up Suzuki. Only 6 games separate the teams in the tight AL Central Division race. And now on FoxSportsNorth.com, Tyler Mason examines how close the division really is, where any team has a chance to win it. We said before, the Royals are leading the division because they pitched the best. The team ERA is not the perfect measure of a team's pitching or lack of it. Strike 1 to Suzuki. But in the rankings, the Royals have the 4th best team ERA in the American League. The rest of the American League Central teams are 10th and worst. Cleveland's 10th. Detroit, Minnesota, and Chicago kind of clustered near the bottom. 7 pitches and a 1-2-3-6. On to the 7th in a tie game. Casino story of the game, the Major League debut of Johan Pino.
And Pino has pitched outstanding. Struck out the first two batters he faced at the Major League level. Got a little help from Josh Willingham, a home run in the second inning. Took a 1-0 lead, but with bases loaded, Connor Gillespie made it a 2-1 White Sox lead. Joe Mauer in the third inning added an RBI single, scoring Santana. The game is tied at 2 apiece. So both starters right now with quality starts.
And in the seventh, Pino will work his way through the bottom of the order. And ordinarily you'd say, well, that's a good thing, but it's not because of who's down there for the White Sox. A couple of guys have just wrecked Twins pitching. Ramirez with a double and a fly ball, then Viciedo, and then Alejandro De Aza, who's gotten 2 singles against Pino. Tap foul.
3 of the 6 innings Pino has worked so far have been 1, 2, 3 innings. In the last 3 innings, a total of 32 pitches to get 9 outs.
Ramirez step it off. His double came with 2 outs in the second. It did no damage, and then he had a fly ball to fold in center his next time up. Swing and a miss.
Good pitch.
Very good pitch and a quick strikeout here in the seventh.
Yeah, Ramirez kind of swung at that, like maybe the back is bothering him a little bit as he kind of stretched out. And strikeout number 6 in his Major League debut for Pino. Good breaking ball, great location. Ramirez strikes out.
Viciedo with a pop up to second and a ground ball to third. Foul back. The Twins have not gotten starts like this from this spot in the rotation. Mike Pelfrey really struggled and then was hurt. Samuel Deduno had a great opportunity to do this, something like this, and we saw Deduno do it a lot last year against some really good lineups. It just didn't happen. So the Twins with their third option in the 5th starter spot, and he's given the Twins a really good chance here tonight.
He really has, Dick. You know, he has done everything that he can to keep the Twins in the game. He has done a great job of changing speeds. Again, you know, Gardy mentioned on the scouting report of Pino that he got from Rochester that he's not an overpowering pitcher, but he knows how to pitch. And I guess over 1,000, almost 1,100 innings in the minor leagues, you better learn something.
Up and away, 2-2.
10 years in the minor leagues. That's a long time to get this opportunity, what he's given here tonight.
2-2. Struck him out.
Well, went up the ladder with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. And picks up his 7th strikeout.
Earlier we saw the fastball at 91, but there's still 89 there on that fastball.
Yeah.
2 down. Particularly toward the end of his career. I'm not trying to draw comparisons. I'm simply trying to say that velocity can be very overrated. Toward the end of his career, Brad Radke was still a really good pitcher because he commanded what he had and changed speed.
Right,
yeah,
that's what Brad did so well right there. After an 89-mile-an-hour fastball for a strikeout, Diaz saying, okay, he's going to challenge me. 82-mile-an-hour changeup.
Fly ball left field, Willingham.
Another great inning.
On 10 pitches, a 1-2-3 seventh for Johan Pino.
congratulated. His night is done. A great effort right there by Johan Pino in his Major League debut. And this copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC. I heard you read it a couple times on the road. Good job.
What'd you think?
I thought you did a great job of reading that.
Thank you. It's kind of like getting back on the unicycle. You know?
Look at the numbers right there. Only 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. He retired the last 9 White Sox batters he faced. 94 pitches, 68 for strikes.
And we'll see if the Twins can get him a win. He's done for the night. They need to score at least 1 here in the 7th. Parmalee will lead things off. Strike on the outside corner. Bottom third of the Twins lineup. Parmalee, Escobar, and Fold.
Parmalee a double in his last at bat in the 4th inning with 2 outs. See if he can do it with nobody out here.
Inside, 1-1. I suppose on some levels it's consolation for Twins fans, but probably for most it just adds to the frustration. 1-1 to Parmalee. Twins went 3-6 on the road trip. 5 of the losses were by 1 run. 5 of them, including the last 4. And so you can tell yourself we were so close and could have won 2, 3 or more of those ball games. It was a called strike. So then you try to break a 5-game losing streak and forget it. One of the more heartbreaking losses in recent years. Casey Fien, the loser yesterday, warming up in the Twins bullpen, and you find yourself back at another low-scoring tie ball game. 1 at bat apparently might make the difference. And now 3-2 to Parmalee.
I remember in April when the Twins were scoring all the runs. Well, I mean, they were swinging a bat well, but the pitching staff was not consistent. So it's the roller coaster ride that you go through. Quintana rearing back and challenging Parmalee right there. He did that against Parmalee in the 2nd inning and struck him out on a fastball. There's your catcher Suzuki talking to Pino about the 7 innings of work. Great job.
Parmalee pops up a 3-2 pitch. Ramirez. That's Gillespie making the catch, 1 away.
Johan Pino making his Major League debut. Again, the first 2 batters he faced, Eaton and Beckham, struck him out. A 1-2-3 first inning. Ran into a little bit of trouble in the 3rd inning when he gave up that 2-run single to Connor Gillespie. But after that, only 1 more hit allowed, and that off the bat of Diaza. That was it. So nice Major League debut. Twins hopefully can get him a run here, maybe a Major League win.
Long ball hit right at Ramirez. 2 down. Bring up Sam Fuld. MLB.TV, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years of providing baseball fans top-of-the-line content. Join the millions of subscribers today. Watch every out-of-market game live in true high definition on more than 400 devices. Visit twinsbaseball.com for details. Here's Fuld. A couple of outfield flies. And a bell tie strike. Fuld with a fly to left and a fly to center. One. That got Flowers on the left leg someplace.
He'll walk it off. Might be the last inning for Quintana. You can see 107 pitches. Another quality start for the lefty. Looking for his 4th win. If he's able to get out of this, another quality start. 10 of 15 starts, quality starts, but only 3 wins.
Fuld taps it to the right side. Easy play for Beckham. And Quintana's retired the last 7 batters he's faced. And we head to the 8th, tied at 2.
Go back 7 years, June 19th, 2007. Our Bert Blyleven told Johan Santana that he would have his head shaven if Johan threw a complete game shutout. Johan did, and Bert lived up to the bargain. Johan shaved Bert's head after the game. Now back to Dick and Bert.
I remember that like it was yesterday because my head's still shaven. But
I was going to say, it never really grew back.
Remember, Dick, we were on the bus. Johan was on the bus going to New York. The Mets were the best hitting team in the National League. I thought, there's no way Santana's going to pitch a shutout. I thought I was safe. He ended up pitching a shutout, and then I remember at the end of the game pointing up and saying, "You're mine, big boy."
Well, Casey Fiend, I'm sure, wanted to get back on the mound as quickly as he could after what happened yesterday. Got the first out, but then David Ortiz and Mike Napoli homered to take a victory away from the Twins. Tyler Flowers will lead off the 8th for Chicago.
Yeah, you get back on that bike, and hopefully it's a better outing. And Casey Fiend making his 33rd relief appearance.
One of the things that made it such a jarring development is Fiend in 29 innings had given up just 1 home run all year long. And he gave up 2 back-to-back. And now Flowers with a foul tip, 1 strike.
Yeah, that home run, the other one was back on June 8th against the Houston Astros. Here, George Springer hit a solo home run. So he's done a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. It happens. Happens to the best of them.
Left some pitches up. Needs to keep them down. One right down the middle and a swing and a miss.
I think we've all seen Casey Fiend over the last couple of years. There's no fooling around with Casey Fiend out on that mound. He will attack the strike zone.
Fiend asked to get the save yesterday. Glenn Perkins' back did not allow him to play yesterday. Right on the outside corner. And Fiend puts Flowers away on 3 fastballs.
Yeah, Casey got his first career save on that road trip. Remember in Toronto, he picked up his first career save, and I thought we weren't going to show this. There's that man again, big David Ortiz, and then Mike Napoli straightaway center. That was the ball game.
1 down, and now Adam Eaton. There's a bunt. Suzuki will fire to first. Got him. 2 down. Good play by Suzuki.
He is such a very good all-around catcher. Not only calls a great game, jumps out of the box right here. That's Eaton right there. Slipped a little bit, but barehanded it quickly and got it over to Joe Mauer.
2 down quickly, and now Gordon Beckham with 4 pitches thrown in the inning. So for the fans, for the players, and even for the announcers, a game like that's tough yesterday to process and
the swallow. Yeah.
5 pitches. 1, 2, 3. 8th inning. Great inning for Casey Fiend. Let's see if the Twins can get a run on the bottom of the 8th.
A late night version of Twins Live presented by CenturyLink directly after the game. We'll take a look at the major league debut of Yohan Pino, who gets a quality start with 7 strong innings tonight for the Minnesota Twins. Josh Willingham providing some power, and we'll take you inside the clubhouse and hear from the manager, Ron Gardner. Boys, it would be nice to get a run here in the bottom of the 8th and see if Glenn Perkins can get back on the mound and get save number 18. That's the game plan.
And he's warming up out of the bullpen right now. Thank you, Kevin. Minnesota native Jake Petrichka warming up on the bullpen, or on the game mound rather. Petrichka pitched against the Twins once last year, but coming into a key spot here in a tie game, bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, look at the numbers right there for Petrichka, making his 30th relief appearance, 36 2/3 innings, only 29 hits allowed. He's given up only 1 home run, 19 walks, 27 strikeouts. Hard-throwing right-hander with a fastball, curveball, and a changeup in his 2nd season with the White Sox.
Born in Northfield, Minnesota, went to high school in Faribault.
Played his college ball out of Indiana State, signed by the White Sox in 2010.
Top of the order for the Twins: Santana, Dozier, and Mauer, trying to get a run across in the 8th. Twins had a brief 1-0 lead, then the White Sox had an equally brief 2-1 lead.
Gillespie, the third baseman, really playing in, taking a bunt away from Santana.
Ball 1.
See where Gillespie is right there, the third baseman in on the grass.
Fox Tracks presented by Carrier. 1-1. You can see all the moths flying around here. 2-1. Now, if you look closely at Petrichka's numbers, you saw control has been a bit of an issue. 36 2/3 innings, 19 walks, none of them intentional. Tapper up the middle, and Santana's got a base hit.
Another 2-hit night for Santana. Continues to swing the bat and pick up base hits.
Leadoff man is on.
Yeah, fastball away. Didn't try to do too much with it. Right back up the middle. Big hole up the middle in the center field.
On the road trip, we saw Dozier in Boston dropping down a sacrifice bunt. Wasn't something that was called from the bench. Dozier did it himself. I'm not sure the manager really was expecting it or wanted it, but in this situation it might make some sense to get Santana's speed up a base, and Mauer and Willingham following. Santana leans back to the bag.
Santana 6 stolen bases in 6 attempts at first base. Triska at 6'5", 210. See how quick he is home.
Up and away, ball 1. Faced Petrushka last year, and he got a couple of runs against him in an appearance. Dozier takes a strike. Twins have had the leadoff man on base just the one time here. Willingham led off the second with a home run. So this is the first time the leadoff man has been on base.
And it's the right guy in Santana with his speed.
Dozier takes strike 2. Dozier was called out on strikes in the 3rd. And he took strike 2 and 3 in that at bat. He walked in the 1st, doubled in the 5th.
I think a lot of clubs have seen that Brian Dozier's so quick inside that they're really working the outer half of the plate.
And a pitch out, although the pitch wasn't out very far. Flowers came out of his crouch, and the pitch was a few inches off the outside corner.
Yeah, Dozier swings right there. He knocks Flower into right field for a base hit.
Two and two.
Twins with 40 stolen bases on the year. They've been caught only 13 times.
Dozier fouls it straight back. White Sox have some bullpen issues. Giving you the rankings before in team ERA. The White Sox are actually behind the Twins in pitching staff earned run average.
And they have 6 right-handers out there, only 1 lefty, that being Scott Downs.
Bounce pass, Beckham into right field. Santana's digging for 3rd, and he'll reach. A bouncer just to the left, out of the reach of Beckham. And Santana scampered all the way to 3rd.
Boy, that's a great terminology of how he got there. Her little feet were flying. Ball away. Dozier just hits it the other way. Beckham a little bit up the middle, opens up that gap. Dove for the ball, and there goes Santana.
You know, he reminds me a little bit of Rod Carew, the way he runs. It doesn't look like he's running hard, but you blink and you've lost 20 feet. Well, the White Sox now in a predicament with Mauer at the plate, 1st and 3rd, nobody out. They're going to bring the infield in. And Dozier will get a lead off of 1st. Fouled back, 1 strike.
Well, you know, and that's one thing we have seen Joe do a little bit on that road trip. I see him swinging at that first pitch a little bit more. Always known to take that first fastball. He had a good swing at it, just fouled it off.
He's the only Twins reliever warming up, so he's probably going to get the 9th inning whether the Twins get a lead or not.
He would like to get the save. See if the Twins can take a lead right here.
Makes a strike over the inside corner. Mauer struck out swinging in the 5th when Quintana, the lefty, came inside with a fastball to get a swing and a miss.
Down and in, yep.
Mauer tied the game back in the 3rd with a 2-out single. Here, a fly ball to the outfield will drive in a run. Very high. 1-2. One and two to Mauer. Dug out by Flowers. 2-2.
Looks like the breaking ball down and in. Not a big breaking ball, almost like a slider.
Couple of choppers. Santana's up the middle. Dozier's into right field, and the Twins have a threat here in the 8th. Petrichka had Mauer 0-2.
Willingham on deck waiting his turn.
Morales behind Willingham. Full count to Mauer. Down the line. Santana scores. Dozier to 3rd. Mauer to 2nd. And Mauer's put the Twins in front here 3-2.
Second RBI in the ball game for Joe Mauer. On his 2nd hit. Well, with the infield in, of course, that cuts down your range, and Gillespie coming in on that grass. Joe just shooting this ball outer half of the plate the other way, past Gillespie into the corner. And it's an RBI double for Mauer, and the Twins take a 3-2 lead.
As an aside, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't apply a little insecticide to the grass here. Take care of some of the moths. They're everywhere. Here's Willingham, and the White Sox have the infield in for his at bat as well. 2 singles and a double. On the outside corner, a strike. Willingham started the scoring, a leadoff home run in the 2nd. Look at that.
A lot of dive bombers.
And strike 2. Batter's eye is supposed to be black, but it's attracting a lot of the moths. In the playoff game the Yankees had in Cleveland years ago, Jabba Chamberlain was overwhelmed by bugs. It was a tapper foul. And then the first year here, Kestrel, there was a bird that stood on, or
they named him Kirby.
Yeah,
remember?
was sat on the foul pole from time to time and would try to do his part to, or her part to take care of the moths.
Where is he or her now? On a field day.
2 strikes to Willingham. And a strikeout for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, pulled the string right there. 85 mile an hour changeup up. Triska picks up a big strikeout. First out of the inning.
And now Morales. The White Sox will have no choice but to bring the infield in here as well.
Josh with that uppercut swing, and the ball just above his swing.
Morales will be walked to bring up Suzuki. First intentional walk that Petrichka has given up this year. We've seen a couple of times where teams have done this and only to have Suzuki foil the strategy.
Let's hope it happens again.
Morales had gone hitless in 16 at bats. So he will fill first base and Suzuki will come up.
And Morales will reintroduce himself to first base and say, I want to get over here more.
Don Cooper to the mound. And this is where the strategy to intentionally walk Morales on the one hand might make sense, but we told you about Petrichka's control issues, averaging about 5 walks per 9 innings. And so now he's got to throw a strike to a guy who's got pretty good plate discipline. No margin for error, no place to put Suzuki. Suzuki with as many walks as strikeouts. White Sox will play the infield at double play depth. Strike over the inside corner.
Well, Suzuki third on the Twins ball club and runs batted in with 30. See if they can add to that total here.
Inside, 1-1. Suzuki to center field. Eaton coming in for the catch. Dozier tagging. Dozier scoring. A sacrifice fly by Suzuki, and the Twins have a 2-run lead.
Driving in his 31st run of the year. A big sacrifice fly right there for Suzuki, giving the Twins a 2-run lead. Got a fastball up and hit it to Eaton in center field. And Dozier and his speed tagging up at third base, scoring the 2nd run of the inning.
Something to be said, I suppose, about just being at home. The Twins tonight have scored twice as many runs as they did in 3 games in Boston. They go Flora mode. Running at first for Kendrys Morales, with the fervent hope that the DH spot won't come around and bat again. And Parmelee the batter. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. Petrichka kind of victimized by some bad luck here. Santana chopped one up the middle. Dozier chopped one through the infield on the right side. Mauer slashed a double. And Parmelee drives it to the left field corner. Piazza makes the catch to end the 8th inning, but a good inning for the Twins. The inning starts single, double, and by inning's end, the Twins have a 2-run lead.
Good inning.
Perkins could not pitch yesterday because of some lower back soreness and stiffness. Pronounced himself ready to go tonight. We'll find out. He's got a 2-run lead to work with.
Yeah, Perk making his 30th relief appearance, looking for his 18th save on a year in 20 save opportunities. His last save coming in his last appearance that Friday in Detroit in that 2-0 win over the Tigers.
Connor Gillespie will lead things off, and he takes up high ball 1. So pronouncing yourself physically able to pitch is one thing. Pitching effectively then is the next matter, and that will be closely watched here to see how well Perkins pitches. And the first 2 pitches are up high.
And Perkins' control has been awesome this year. Only 5 walks, 1 intentional in 29 1/3 innings with 39 strikeouts.
So Konerko in the dugout. He had a pinch hit against Perkins in the opening series in Chicago. Very high, higher in fact, 3-0. If you've ever had a bad back, you know they just don't go away, and Perkins is trying to find the strike zone here in the at bat with Gillespie. There it is.
And you have to do it again. This is where that second run so important for the Twins. No free passes, no walks. Make them swing the bat.
Driven foul, 3-2. Gillespie, Abreu, and Dunn. You saw Konerko with the bat. I can't imagine he'd be used anytime soon, given where we are in the Chicago batting order, but yet there he is. A pinch hit double against Perkins at the start of the season. That's to the left field corner and twisting foul.
Bell behind 3-0, 3 straight fastballs. Gillespie's fouling off a couple. You have to make him swing the bat again.
Tapper to second. Weakly hit. Dozier to first, 1 away.
Good job by Perkins right there. Falling behind but coming back and throwing strikes.
Back to our carsoup.com trivia question. The Twins rookie record for wins in a season by a pitcher.
There he is, Bluegill.
16 of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a great year. He was the pitcher of the month in May, I think, when he went 5-0, had an ERA under 1. He had that fork ball.
First pitch fouled to the right field corner off the bat of Abreu.
My old roommate back in 1969, Jim Hughes.
He's told me some stories about you. I just have not gone public with them.
And you don't want to. Please.
First 3 pitches out of the strike zone from Perkins, and now 5 straight strikes.
You go or go.
Boy, when I come out with my book, though.
Watch out.
First 7 chapters. That's flared into right, and that'll drop for a base hit. Abreu's aboard with a bloop single, and that'll bring up Adam Dunn.
Abreu just kind of fought off that pitch and hit a little doink into right field, his first hit. And for the White Sox, they're 6th in the ball game. Fastball came running in on him, but he just fought it off and hit it into short right.
Dunn, the batter, 11 of his 12 home runs have come against right-handed pitchers. Fouled back.
Has he ever hit into a double play? He has that uppercut swing. He's hit it into only 1 double play.
38 at bats against lefties, and he struck out 14 times. And Suzuki with a block. And you're right, that second run changes everything. You get a base hit, a base runner. You wouldn't want to face this guy with the lead, a 1-run. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Ramirez in the on deck circle.
And Perk usually very good at picking up a strikeout in every outing he's had, and 29 outings coming into this outing. Only 4 times he has pitched at least 1 inning and not had a strikeout. Ooh, boy. Fastball.
2-2.
Missing.
Dunn against Perkins. 0 for 9 with 6 strikeouts.
Can we make it 7? Oh, boy.
Perkins thought he had the corner, but the call goes to Dunn.
The last 2 pitches, pretty good pitches. See what Fox Track says.
Off the plate. 3-2 to Adam Dunn.
Looking more at number 4 that hit the top of the strike zone.
Foul back.
When this guy does connect, Adam Dunn, it does go a long way. 452 career home runs.
Got him with a high fastball.
There's a strikeout.
2 down. And now Ramirez. CenturyLink linked to what's next tomorrow. Ricky Nolasco will try to even his mark at 5-5. The ERA gradually coming down for Nolasco, taking on Hector Noese. Alexei Ramirez, a double in 3 trips. Check swing and a strike. Ramirez 8 for 25, 4 doubles, a home run against Perkins.
Well, he gets right on top of that play too, and Glenn likes to work inside. That breaking ball missing inside. See where he is in the batter's box. Bat almost the inside part of the plate.
For foul, 1-2.
Very quick hands, Ramirez. Perkins looking for his 18th save. The faithful fans starting to get on their feet here at Target Field.
As of right now, it's still Thursday.
It's been a long night.
It's about to turn into Friday. 2-2.
Well, let's win before. Let's wait a minute, then we can win 2 in one day.
The ultimate split doubleheader. Grounded to short, and Santana will go to the bag. And Perkins gets the save. His back is fine enough, I guess, to get the save done.
I guess we're going to have to win this game on Thursday. It's 11:59, but what a great performance by Pinto. Pino did a great job.
And Tom Hanneman, as the clock strikes midnight, we can pronounce the 5-game losing streak is over.
Dick, a load of solid storylines tonight here at Target Field. For the first time in 6 days, the Twins celebrate a win. Coming up on Twins Live, we'll talk about Mr. Pino's Major League Baseball debut. Joe Mauer delivering in the clutch, and we'll preview Game 2.